contextualizing is big. If I'm like, hey, John, can you go into the other room real quick? You're gonna be like, "Ooh, why?" I'm like, hey, John, I want to test if my speakers are working. Do you mind like going into the other room real quick to see if it works?
So good. It
Now
was
you
good.
have
Yes.
context. So like if someone's like, hey, what are you bringing in for income? They're like, why do you need to know that? Versus like, hey, like just to make sure, like what kind of income may be missing from your family when you pass?
Man.
Like, what are you bringing in for income roughly?
Dude, I had a guy yesterday, second question. I'm like, do you have any insurance now? He's like, what's that got to do with anything? Like, I did a really shitty job fucking laying the table for this one. I did not set the
Yeah,
right expectations.
absolutely. Well, it's nice to meet you. I've
Hey,
met you a
brother.
couple of times, but never like one-on-one. So nice to meet you.
Yeah. Same, brother. I recall the name. I don't remember where. I also meet a lot of people, so it's hard to remember everybody. There's
Yeah,
so many people killing it now, dude. It's hard to keep up, bro.
yeah, for
The
sure.
company's gotten quite big.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you getting on, dude. Saw a little bit about you online. Saw you. I think what had us reach out. I think I saw you hit Hall of Fame already, pretty early in the
Yeah,
year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
yeah.
that's a killer, dude. Tell us a little bit more, man. I'd love to know a little bit more about how long you've been in the business because I don't know much, dude. And I get on these to fucking learn myself.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I'll give a little bit about my background because it's pretty similar to yours actually.
Is it?
So,
That's
yeah,
cool.
because I mean, you resonate with me pretty good, especially when I first came into the business, just because, I started out as a CPA. So,
Ah,
went to college for accounting, did that, went with a big four firm for a couple years, and then went private. And so, kind of same story, man. At the time I had two kids and, just it was great to learn that stuff, as I'm sure you know, but like, I was just miserable.
yeah.
Um,
That I know. That I can relate to.
miserable.
Certainly. I
Yeah.
wasn't fully bought in on the how great it was to learn. I didn't go CPA route. I stopped at accountant.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I looked at CPA and my brain, I was like, I don't know. I don't think that's what I want to do.
Yeah. And because I didn't know what to do, what else I
Yeah,
really wanted to do. I just kind of went into it because I knew business was good,
sure.
accounting wouldn't hurt. And so, but yeah, man, it was one of those things like, with some of those firms, like you're working like 70, 80-hour weeks,
Oh,
you're
yeah, buddy.
salaried, it's just a grind and it's just like, it's just miserable, right? Like for me, like you always convince yourself that you like things to kind of get by
Yeah,
it. But
100%.
there was a point at the end of my career where I was just like, desperate to do something different. I would
Yeah.
listen to Bigger Pockets every day. I was looking for
Oh, yeah.
random things to do side hustles to get extra because I mean, I was working so much that I mean, we were barely making it by and I was working 70-hour weeks. So just looking for anything to get out of it.
Yeah.
And then one day, which it's kind of a cool story because I'm kind of an old fart. Like I don't really do much. Like I just spend time with my
I love
family,
it.
go to work. And one time that my for my birthday, my in-laws convinced me to go out to the bar that night, which I never really go to. And we
Mhm.
were sitting there playing cornhole, and I met this guy. His name's Jacob Center. I think you might know
Oh,
him.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was sitting at the bar. He's like, "Hey man, can I play cornhole with you guys?" And I was like, "Sure." And then we're just talking. I was like, "Hey, what do you do for work?" And he's like, "Oh, I sell solar." And I was like, "Okay, well, you mind me asking, like, what do you guys make, like, roughly?" And he's like, "Oh, I made like 40K last month." And I was like, 40K. And so I was like super intrigued. It was like, like the stars aligned. And I was like, okay, well, how can I just do this part time for now? So I got into solar, did really well in solar,
No
and
kidding.
opened my
Mm.
eyes up to, sales and like it's uncapped. It's just like you can work as hard as you can and make as much as you pretty
Yeah.
much want. And so did really well there. Solar kind of took a turn in California. And
When
so
was this? How long ago?
this was about 4 years ago, 3.5 years
No
ago.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
When you
we
say
did
really
that.
well in solar, what's that? I don't know solar that well at
So
all.
really well. So I mean, just from perspective, like my first 8 months in solar, I made like 300,000.
Shut
Like
up.
my
Really? Okay.
previous salary before that was like 100,000.
Got it.
Yeah.
Just
So I
doing it
did
on the side.
no. So
Oh,
well,
you
I
had
did
gone full time.
that
Got it. I
first on
see.
the side, and once I knew it
Got
was
it.
real,
Got it.
like
Got it.
saw it hit my account, I was like, okay, like two deals, I made twice what I make in a month. I'm like, I'm gonna go
I'm out.
full force. And it
That's
was
cool.
one of the scariest things, I think, just because I had two
Yeah.
kids, sole income
Sure.
provider. So I was kind of an asshole, or excuse my French. But I was kind of a jerk to people because like people were like, why are you leaving accounting
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
sell solar? And so there's so much negativity going my way. So I just had to like,
yep.
prove those people wrong and make it work. But fast forward and solar kind of took a turn and Caitlin Blackburn reached out to actually not even Jacob Center, somebody else,
No
and
shit.
he brought me and Center into the business.
Got it.
And the rest is history from there. So I've been doing this for about almost 3 years.
Sick. Okay, got it. Got
Yeah.
it. So you're always on those calls. You're on the calls I get on with Caitlin then a bunch over the years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense. I
Yeah.
knew it. I knew I recognized you, but I couldn't place it. I'm like, where do I fucking know the guy from? Makes
Yeah.
sense. That's cool. I love it. Love it. That's good shit. And now, when did you switch? When was the switch? That's a couple years ago. You said
Yeah. About 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
So
Cool.
it's coming on 3 years. Yeah.
So 22, I guess. Would that? So how did it start out? How transition to insurance? You kill it right away, or was it? What was that like?
No. No. So I'm very, and it's similar to you, right? Like I'm very analytical. And
Yeah.
so I tended to go to like analysis paralysis, but like being in sales prior, it kind of forces you to kind of go with the flow a little bit more and just know
Yeah.
you're gonna fall on your face. So, but when I first started, I was pretty bad. Like I could barely read the script. Like I was stuttering and, just
No shit. Solar
yeah.
was easier for you to start.
Yeah, because and solar, it was all in person. Like, and so selling over
Okay,
the phone
got it.
is a little bit
Yep.
different.
You were knocking doors, right?
I was knocking doors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but when I first came in, like I was just so robotic but I
Yeah.
was still getting sales. Like, I mean, my first month I probably did, I think 12K.
Okay.
Next month I did 16 and I took 2 weeks off too. And then the following month I did 40,
That was
70,
it.
and then it would just took off from there. Yeah. But it
Well,
was a grind. So like for
yeah.
me, when I first came in, it's like I have this like do or die mentality. So, I was like 12, 14-hour days. Just like if I'm not dialing, I'm listening to my recordings, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm practicing my script. And so the escalation, it kind of took off for me because I was just like doing as much as I can. Like I've spent probably a total of 30 grand on training courses. So I know the power of like investing in yourself.
That's cool.
So, but it took off from there. So,
That's badass.
yeah.
Sick. What were you over analyzing at the beginning? Like, what were you stuck on?
I think I just wanted to know like the best word track for every part. And I was just trying to take in too much information at once and versus like how I teach my agents now is okay, get this one script, memorize that script because so you can have the baseline, right? Because like when you guys used to go door to door or in home, like you didn't have your script in front of you, right? So getting that memorized as quick as I can is like what I tell my agents is get that thing memorized, then bullet point it out so you know like each section.
Yeah.
And then now you can practice on like your tonality, your transitions, and understanding the psychology behind everything you say, but progression wise, like take it in steps. Like for me, I just tried to learn as much as I could at once. So I didn't perfect anything, at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I remember being a new dude, and you're right. We did. I'm going to actually use that because I've never actually said it the way you said it, but we didn't have a script going in the house. We had now one phase of my career. We had this little flip book. We used to have to flip through and show them a little thing. That was terrible. And then when we got away from that, it was more script-ish based. We never really had a full, but it was an acronym. And then what I used to do, they gave us like a flow, like you said, it was their version of bullet points. I took it and I'd take a little sticky note and put the bullet points and I keep it and I would hide it under the lead that I had. I would have the lead on their kitchen table and hide the little sticky note under, and I would just glance when I was brand new. And if I would forget where I was at, I'd look under, and be like, oh shit, I got to get the Y. Yeah.
Yep.
I only did that for a hot minute, but yeah, it's wild how many people are so dependent on every detail of a 7-page script when they start. It's tough. It's tough to get moving.
Yeah, and it's so much information. I get it's overwhelming. People just want to know it, but like you have to take baby steps to kind of push forward. But
What were reps like for you? Because a lot of people say I spend 12 hours and I do some dialing and I do some training and I do some, and they end up with $62 for the day. you know. So what
Oh,
what
dude.
were you focused on activity wise, especially early, to say go from, and more importantly, what changed from that 12, 16K to then go to 40? You know what I mean? Like what was the, how do you get there for people?
Yeah, so I mean, I was so diligent. Like I was probably doing, and we tell our agents now not to really focus only on dials because
Mm-hmm.
some people come in like, oh, I hit my dials. They just go through the
Yep.
motions and they're
Yep.
like, okay. But I was doing like 500, 600 dials a day, um, which is not always a good thing because that means you're in less presentations. But I
Sure.
mean, dude,
Yep.
I would go until I bought a Hawaii license, so I would call till like 10
Dope.
o'clock, 11 o'clock until I got a sale. And so um, my activity was really, really high. And I was actually working those 8 hours a day, like legit dialing the whole time. And then some of the other time was just like training and,
Yeah.
some downtime, but actual dial time was at least 8 hours a day. And then
Sick.
I think what gets you over to the going from 10, 12, whatever to the 40K, you just start learning the process and you start listening to the clients. And like
Yeah.
if you have that spectrum of 10 people, like I was closing those laydowns 1 to 2 because I was spending all day finding those people. And
Yep.
then those people in the middle that need a little bit of push, I started getting better skill to where I could like
Yeah.
push those people to a deal, right?
So you didn't triple your activity suddenly.
No,
It was a combination of the
it'd be
I usually
physically
say like
impossible.
you get some momentum going.
Yeah.
That has a little weird kick in that's hard to explain to people that have never experienced it. And then your skill set fucking goes up quick if you're doing the right things behind it. Because you see the same shit over and over and over again. So quick.
Yeah, we have the same presentation.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's 10 to 12 minutes, and there's some variations in there. But like, as if you can perfect, we do the same thing every day. If you can just perfect
Yeah.
that as much as you can, yeah,
What kind of leads were you or are you? Has it changed, evolved? What's been the evolution of that? Like your lead strategy, your approach,
yeah.
on how you do this thing. And ultimately, I will want to wrap it into like one call close versus booking. I kind of want
Mhm.
to kind of what's your whole strategy there with leads and style and booking and stuff.
Yeah, so it's starting out like luckily I had like some reserve from solar, so I was fortunate
Yep.
in that sense. But
Yep.
I started out just like, calling bronze, silver leads and
Okay.
work those so I can get the skill set on
Yep.
those like age leads because you
Hmm.
get the same objections there as you will with a fresh lead, right?
Sure. Are you
Uh,
working all type, mortgage, final expense,
yeah,
mix,
my
one specific?
my first month I was doing mainly just general life, silver,
Yep.
bronze,
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
probably second month end of second month, we started kind of transitioning into more mortgage. And so
Yep.
I started really doing mortgage for a while.
Nice.
Um, and I think by my fourth month in, I got a dialer. So I would have dialer
Okay.
booking appointments for me. Um, so that's kind of progression. But now I run like Facebook campaigns for final expense. I
Hmm.
don't really do much mortgage anymore. I do a lot of
Yep.
veteran leads. Um, and then I have CRMs like Lead Champ Pro is really good.
Okay.
And I still have a dialer too. So now it's changed for me just grinding, dialing, 500, 600 dials a day to the point where now it's more of mostly appointment based. And then in between the appointments,
Is it
call it.
okay?
Yeah.
Cool. I like that. I like that. How many are you booking between you and the dialer? Rough.
So
Like what's your goal?
um, basically, I would say I have about 10 to 12 appointments a day.
Okay.
My dialer's
Cool.
booking probably like probably 3 to 5 of those. And then
Okay.
the CRM via text is booking some of those.
Ah.
And
Yep.
then I'm booking some of them. So I'm not
A little mix.
huge on call to close. Like I
Yep.
think it's really important, but there are for sure some times where it's appropriate to set an appointment.
Yeah. For those of you that have followed me for a while, you know I've helped build this agency up to over $200 million in paid annual premium per year. We have over 5,000 agents a year that sell, and I am rebuilding. We're building a new base shop, helping people build big agencies, get to multi 7 figures in income, or producers that want to just sell and get to a multi 6-figure sales career. Hit me up. I'm hiring direct. I'm looking to train and mentor winners that want to work their ass off and build something dope. Click on the link below, or you can go to johnwetmore.com/join and put in your application. We'll see if I'd be interested in working with you. DM me, hit me up, whatever you like. How did you learn how to do that? Right? Because for clarity, for fun, I'm building this new direct base shop, and I never did telesales. I didn't play with that. We tripped over a couple when it became new, like fucking in 2019, and you could do DocuSign. You know what I mean? Kind of, but not in today's world. Have I done? So a few weeks ago, I decided to start jumping on the phone to kind of see what these new kids are going through, so I can feel it, and you know what I mean. And it's like, interesting. I can see some of the battles are different than when it was going in that. It doesn't. There's pros and cons to both, you know.
Yeah.
But what I see a lot of people get stuck on for sure is like they want a one call close, but they don't know how to. They don't know if they can, or like if they're in Walmart, it's like, do I keep going? Do I not? You know what I mean? They get stuck on which to do. Am I one call close guy or am I an appointment guy? And I think a lot of people make too much out of that. But did you ever struggle there? Like, what do I do? Like a squirrel in the fucking road?
I think what was good when we first came in is it's a big push for one call close. So you're not afraid to like if they say they're busy, like it's people usually have time. Like I've closed people in Walmart while they're like in the checkout line. When they're driving, I think is like one of the best because they have nothing else better to do. It's more so of reading the situation of if it's a legit logistical, like you have to do it later, or if they're just like brushing you off, or it's a smokescreen. So I think that comes with time and reading the situation, being able to listen to the client. Sure. But for me, like there's times where I just don't call to close, but a lot of them are. So I would say it's probably like a 70-30 split.
Makes sense. Now, I say some people get fear of doing a one call close when they hear their stuff going on in the background, and they kind of wuss out on it, for lack of a better term. They get a little nervous, and they're like, "Oh shit, you can't do it now. Hey, do you want to do it later?" And they're like, "Yep," and they never hear from them again. I see that happen a decent amount with people trying to figure that out. You know?
Yeah.
Dig it. So now, how many days a week are you doing that schedule? That 10, 12 a day? How many days?
I work 6 days a week. Yeah, I work 6 days a week. And I mean, I still work I'm not working till 11 midnight like I used to, but it's for sure 8 to 8 at least, sometimes 9, 10, because I do have agents and
time zones and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you still playing the time zone game for yourself?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have leads all over the country. So
I love it, dude. What can you give them for, like, I guess some phone stuff? Like, how do you teach the telesales today? You know, what's important? What's the magic, if you will, that they're missing? Obviously reps, I think, is a massive thing people are missing out wildly on, but you know, not everybody can start with the reps with the money. They can, but it's obviously harder. You know, the goal is to get nice lead flow, get some new stuff coming in. I certainly think new agents believe it's going to be easier when they have new leads than it probably is, in the sense that you still have the reps. You know, the reps don't go away. But I would love some strategy stuff, dude. What you're teaching, what you're seeing success with specifically. Maybe. Yeah, start there. And I'm intrigued from, this is me personally asking, as I start messing with them, like, what are you doing with the hard shit that's like old folks that can't find the button and can't figure out the code and can't click on the link and you know what I mean? Can't fucking sign the digital. Like, how do you deal with all the stuff as well?
Yeah. So we can go, I'll go into that stuff too. So let me see.
Yeah. And I know I asked like 3 questions at once. I'm an asshole.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. That's where I'm leading. My thoughts are I want to understand the strategy, but I know that's an issue. I've been on the phone for 2 weeks, dude, and I've had that happen like 8 times. You know what I mean? They're like, I can't see it.
To address that first, I mean, there's I think FFL America, my assistant downloaded all the signing instructions for me. So
Yep.
you can go and get like step by step, and you just literally have to like
Yeah.
almost as if you're walking a toddler through something in a sense. Like, hey, do you see that speaker button on your phone? Push the speaker button. Now, you see that bar at the bottom? Put your finger there and swipe up, go to your text, and then
Got it.
literally just walking them through step by step. Some people just try to like, oh yeah, just
Yes.
do your text.
Just go
But like,
through it. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm like, no, do this with your finger. Do you see that like number there? It's from 877 number. Okay, click into that. Now there's two texts. Don't click on anything. Now go ahead and like walk me through what you see. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you can FaceTime them and they can share their screen on their iPhone, but just
Ah,
really
true.
step
Yeah,
by
that's a good idea.
step and very clear instructions, right?
Makes sense. So you have them
Uh,
there, locked and loaded, ready. Any whoever you write, and you can just pull them up.
yeah.
The instructions. Yep.
Yeah, so I
Sick.
have a Google Drive with each carrier's signing instructions so you can see what they see on their text, what the next
Smart.
step is. And so I'm very like specific, like don't do
Yep.
anything yet. Click on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind
Because
of
you
how I
see
do
the
it.
one, and this is just me being straight up ignorant because I ain't done this. Is saying I'm like, I know these new agents aren't doing this shit. If I'm missing, and I know what I'm doing, supposedly,
Mhm. Yeah.
right? But when it's different, it's different. So it's like being prepared to another level more
Yeah.
than most. That never goes out of style,
No.
right? And you
No.
learn that shit by either doing stuff like this, asking someone, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, or watching shit like this.
Mhm.
You learn little tips, man. That's a big one. I promise you, dude, 90+% of people watching this thing don't know those exist, much less do they use them.
Yeah. And I mean, it can lead to bad practices. And so like for me, like it's very important just to do everything correctly. And so I have the folder
Yep.
listed out. And then if you go to that care, just click on it. And then it's literally laid out. I can send them to you too. So you can see
Hell yeah. With
just like
pictures and
step
shit.
by
If it's on
step.
Grady's, I can steal it from his too.
Yeah. I think it's on Grady's or
Yeah.
FFL
I'll let you know
America.
if not. Yeah, I'll find it, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Um, but that's for that. So now in terms of
Yep.
like sales, I think the
Yeah.
the most important thing is you have to have your script just memorized by like week one or two to just know the baseline. Um, and then once you can bullet point it out, I think the biggest thing for new agents is they're so robotic. And
Yeah.
they take people through like it's a checklist, right? And so people can feel that versus once you can perfect your tonality and your transition. So for tonality, I always break it down in tone, pace, and cadence, right?
Yep.
So there is a sweet spot for your tone to where, like, I break it down as being the authority, right? So there's a CIA guy who talks about body language and stuff. And for authority, it's not you're a higher status than the person, but
Mm-hmm.
the slowest moving, the calmest person in the room usually has the highest authority.
I
And
like that.
so if you are calm, you're collected, you're moving at a good pace, like that's going to make a huge difference because people want to be led by an expert,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so some people that just coming out at the gates speaking super quick and have an upward inflection every time they say something. So they say statements with questions. They just come off as not confident, and it subconsciously really affects how the other person on the other end of the phone feels. So
Yeah.
practicing your tone, how the emotion that you're speaking with, your pace, slowing it down a little bit, and then your cadence is sounding actually conversational. So I'm not
Yeah.
speaking to you just the same way the whole time. I'm slowing
Yeah.
down, speeding up. And so getting agents to perfect that is really huge. Um, and then because you can adjust your tone
Shit.
and cadence in more important questions versus if you're speaking the same way the whole time,
Yeah.
certain tough questions won't really land,
Yeah.
right? And then transitions, right? So like to make it not feel like a checklist, like some people will say, hey John, like who would be responsible to have to plan and pay for your funeral? It'd be my daughter. Okay, gotcha. And what would it look like for her to cover that? Okay, gotcha. And then they just ask the next question like
Yep.
they're on a check
Yep.
versus like, so John, like, can you walk me through like what would it look like for your daughter to have to maybe cover something like that? Oh, it'd be tough. Oh, like in what way? Oh, she'd have to do this, this, and this. And so transitioning, so it's not like a checklist.
Yeah.
So first step, memorize script. Second step, memorize the bullet points so now you can have more of a conversation. Third step is practice your tone, like your cadence, your pace, your transitions. And then the sweet spot is really understanding each section of the script and what outcomes you're looking for. Because some people just read the words thinking
Yeah.
that like if I read the words, I'm going to get a sale, which you can. But if you understand what you're looking for and everything you say has a purpose
Yeah.
to lead the sale down, that's like the next
I
step.
love
And
that
then
shit. Yeah.
the final step is like learning like fancy reframes, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Like NLP, like neuro linguistic programming. Like, so for example, if someone's been looking at, a policy for 2 months and then they tell you, hey, I don't make quick decisions because it feels like it's a quick decision on this 10-minute call, but you change their perspective of like, hey, well, can I ask you, like, you've been looking at this for 2 months. Like it feels like a 10-minute decision, but what's really held you back from getting something just to see if I can even help you. Right. And so learning to reframe their mind in certain spots of the call, right,
Yeah.
is the next step.
Yeah. It's worded really good versus like I've heard some people go, "You're 67, bro. It's taking you this long." You know what I mean? It's like a little bit more sarcastic. Like there's like a dig at it. You
Yeah.
know?
When people have
Yeah.
different selling types, like some people are very brute force.
Yep.
I'm more the consultant and getting them to
Yeah.
sell me and tell me.
Sure.
So, um, but yeah, man, there's so many different tricks and like, I mean, if someone in the beginning, because in the beginning of the call, it's really important to pull out the why.
Yeah.
So like, I don't do pen and paper in the beginning. I don't do any of that. I just, hey, are you looking for anything specific or exploring options? Okay, well, everybody's different. What was the main thing you wanted a policy to cover for your family when something happens? And if they're like, oh, I just want to leave income behind, or I just want to leave something behind, like a
Yep.
horrible answer, I'll say, hey, like, I appreciate you being so open and transparent. Like, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that are just so closed off.
So
And
good. Yeah.
those people always like overpay for coverage or never find what they're looking for. So that's appreciate being so open and transparent. But more specifically, and then I'll ask them again. And then those people are way more susceptible to be more open.
And you just put them in a bucket of people who are open and share their shit. And for
Yeah. And
those
then
that
there's,
missed that, for those that missed that little reframe or however you work, I mean, that was very intentional. You put them in a class in a sense.
and I disassociate them with people that
Correct. Yep.
can't find something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those are like the fancy things, but hopefully that made sense. I was kind of all over the
Yeah.
place.
No, I love it, dude. And for me, like even doing this, dude, can you imagine like there's people who do podcasts and read a fucking checklist. Dude, I come in with nothing. I
Yeah.
don't know shit when I get on these, but I like it that way because to me it's just a conversation then. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
just navigating, trying to figure this out. I know nothing when I get on, and I tried to do it a different way, and I don't like it. You know, because that's how I sell too. And people struggle with that concept. You know, but I'm like, hell, to your point, we never had one in home, but
Yeah.
also it's like, dude, we ain't doing nothing special. Insurance has been sold at a high volume for so many decades, an obnoxious amount of time before there was any technology or any of the stuff we have to our benefit now.
Yeah.
You know, which is why you're seeing it so much more mainstream of the overwhelming amount of people selling at an obnoxiously high rate. It's fun to watch, dude. Because I'm telling you, I remember when they threw us fucking parades for writing 5K a week back in the day. And it was
Yeah.
like they forgot
The
to tell us
goalposts
we were
are
gonna
over there.
yeah, they forgot to tell us we were gonna be broke after the parade. They didn't tell us that part. You know?
Yeah.
I was like, shit. Yeah, so it's been a fun journey, dude. I love it. What are the one thing you said earlier, because you gave some of the reframes, you said something about on the script. I'm gonna do my best to word it the way you did. I think you said there were like 4 sections or whatever in your eyes, how you view the script. But at each section, you're looking for some type of outcome.
Yeah.
Can you dive in? I want to know more there.
Yeah. So I think I'll give you like an analogy first, and then I'll break down like the process of what's important.
Yep.
So like a good example, right, is because I've been sold a computer kind of similarly. I kind of add things to it, but it's like, let's just say you walk into Best Buy, right? You're looking for a computer and someone bombards you with, hey man, like we have a bunch of deals going on. Like, what can I help you find? And you're like, oh, I'm just browsing,
Yep.
right? Versus someone comes in like, hey, are you looking for anything specific or are you just browsing? And you're like, oh, I'm looking for a computer, right? Now, option person A, the salesperson A, this is how some people sell. They would just be like, oh, okay, like what kind of computer are you looking for? Oh, I have no idea. Okay, well, let's go back and look at it. So we have this computer, this computer, this computer. Like this does this, this does this. Like, which one do you want?
Yep.
Oh, I have to go and think about it. Like I have to research.
Yeah. I have
Right?
75 options now. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Versus if
How
someone
much
goes, oh,
memory, how much RAM, yeah, you get all
yeah.
this. Yeah.
And that's the time I like to go. I like an expert to kind of walk me through things.
Sure.
I don't like researching online for stuff. I want to go in person, and if someone's educated and they can sell me, like if they know their
Yeah.
stuff. So versus the other salesperson is like, hey, like what kind of computer do you use now? Oh, I use this. Okay,
Yep.
that's a good computer. Like, what do you feel like, has you looking for something else? Well, I'm looking for something because this computer's slow. I want it to hook up to my phone. I want it to hook up to these monitors. Okay, like has that been hurting your business like so far?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been making it so I can't get sales, this, and this. Well, how do you see like having like this other computer that you're looking for? Like, how would that help your business? Well, it's going to make sure I can do this. It's going to get me more sales, this, and this. They're starting to see the path.
Yep.
Okay, well, there's a few different types. Like, what, just so I understand, like, what's preventing you from getting a computer so far? Oh man, there's just so much out there. I have no idea, like, what it is. I've looked around at this, and this. Okay, so now you have a good idea of what they need. They understand what it's going to do for them, what it does if they don't have it. And then you're like, well, this computer, and you kind of relate back to them, this computer here, it's going to cover like the bare minimum of what you're doing. It's maybe a little step above what you have now. This other computer will hook up to 3 monitors, has this RAM. This one's going to do a lot better of what you're looking for. This one you may not really need, but it is going to set you up so you don't have to replace your computer 5 years out, right? Now, the budget for me was like the bottom one, but the middle one is what I really need. So now my budget actually went up because I'm willing to
Yep.
pay for that because I know it's going to cover X, Y, and
It
Z.
does something you need to happen.
Yeah. So that's and in the sales process for insurance, same thing, right? Like if I can bullet point it out, I go through my intro to disarm them, get them curious. I
Yep.
find out what they're looking for specifically with tangible figures. Like I'll explain to them how much a burial costs right from the beginning. So that way, once we get past medical, get to their current situation, we see what that gap looks like right there. They know the gap, right?
Yeah.
And so I find out what they have in place now, their situation, who's responsible for,
Yep.
paying for everything, planning everything, what it looks like for that person, why it's important to them to get this, because some people, they're okay with just leaving this behind. Like, how
Sure.
come this is so important to you? And then the meat and potato, the biggest one is their solution, what they've done in the past. Like, okay, so, have you looked at this before? Is this your first time looking? Oh, well, I've been looking around. Okay, well, I mean, just to make sure I can actually help you because I'm on your team, like, what do you feel like's prevented you so far from actually getting something in place? Right. And this is where I can pre-handle a
Yeah.
lot of objections because they're either going to say, oh, I'm just shopping around. It's been too expensive. I'm just getting older.
Yeah.
They can give you some things and you can
Yeah. There's not
reframe their
much
mind.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can reframe their mindset there. Like, for example, if they say it's been too expensive, there's a couple routes you can go. But if it's a realistic amount, so if they say, oh, it's been too expensive,
Yeah.
oh, that can mean different things to different people. How do you mean by that? Well, they were
Love
showing
that.
me 50,000 for $400 a month, right? So now in my head,
Yep.
I know that's what they've seen. First thing I ask is, do they actually need 50,000?
Yep.
Second thing I ask is, I'll reframe their mind. I'll say, well, hey, it's really smart you're here looking at this. Like, have you heard of the saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? And they're like, oh yeah. Well, you'd be surprised, right? There's some people and they're just so hard-headed that if they can't have everything, they just do nothing rather than getting a little bit of something
That's
for their
so good,
family.
dude.
So you being here is really smart. And then I educate them on the different policy types for them to understand that why one is cheaper than the other, right?
Yep.
Like accidental is the cheapest because it only covers an accident. Term is great for some situations because you can get more coverage for less, but it expires and 95% of people outlive it, which is why they'll give you more coverage for less. Most people don't know that,
True. Yeah,
right?
true.
And then whole life is the only guaranteed type of policy to pay out. And they accept more medical, so it's going to be more than a term, right? And so once I give the education, then I kind of break down like what they're looking for, like, and why I'm going to show them certain options, explain the product, and then once I show them the options after I've explained why I'm showing them to them, I'll say, out of those, which one are you leaning towards most? And if they say, oh, the middle one, I'll say, okay, like, just so I understand, how can we feel like that one would be the best? And then they're going to say, oh, because of this, 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 and this. And they're going to
I
tell me
like
why.
this. Yeah. So you're going in for it's like a secondary why when you get the
Yeah.
pricing. It's like you're reiterating it. I've not heard it done like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, and
I like
then
that.
because that gives me a feel, right? If they're like,
Yeah.
I guess the bottom one, that doesn't sound very convincing to me.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, well, how come that one? Well, I guess it's just what I can afford. Okay, well, now I can pre-handle an objection at banking. I can say, well, price aside, do you feel like your daughter having that coverage when you pass, would that actually help her? Well, yes, but I'm looking for more. And then you can handle that and explain like basically that, out of the policies, it's like going to a gas station. They're all very similar pricing. Some may be just slightly less than the other. So for you, it's a matter of, leaving as much as you can for what's affordable, right? And so you want to handle that stuff then and there because some people will just go,
Sure.
oh, the bottom one? Okay, cool. And
Yep.
in their head, they're like, oh, I can
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
something more for less,
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
it's
just
always
as
a yeah.
what's up?
It's a good place to have a conversation that they're comfortable, that they know what's up, that it's not just like a yes that they call and fucking cancel on their own the next day or week.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm big on my persistency and stuff. Obviously, there's people that need a push. Like if it comes down to
Sure.
them like not knowing which coverage amount, but they know it's going to work for them.
Yep.
That's when I'll say, hey, biggest thing is seeing if you can get approved. We can adjust the coverage if they know that it's the product. But I never say that language
Yeah.
if they don't think that they want this particular product. I never just say, let's just see if you can get approved, right?
Yeah.
I
I
want to
get it.
handle it right there.
My next question was going to be, what's the way to not do this? To
Yeah.
not push, to not close the deal when you're on,
Yeah. There's a
unfortunately,
balance of
I hear that a
pushing.
lot, dude.
Yeah. So
That,
hopefully that made sense. Like just to summarize, like intro, find what they're looking for, medical, what their situation is, what the problem is, what their solution is, give some education, break down why you're showing the options, quote,
yeah,
and just tell you why they're picking that option is kind of the summary.
sick. What up, insurance agents? If you're looking for a roadmap on how to win in this industry, check out the book I wrote about a year ago, Do More Now, Get Better Later. Check out the reviews here somewhere. My team's putting them on. I'm getting tons of great feedback about all the people it's helped. Appreciate those of y'all that have bought it. Appreciate all the reviews that are going out. If you're new to following me or the industry, check out the book and get it in your hands now. And so for you and others trying to learn this thing, obviously there's some component of study. You mentioned earlier, and I don't know if everybody caught it or just breezed over it, that you listen to a lot of your own recordings.
Yeah.
Talk about your studying the craft. Aside from just that, like what's that look like? How are you directing your agents to really like, because what I learned, I never forget this, dude. I learned this, Easton, I assume everyone fucking knows Easton. I learned this was probably it was his first few months. I don't remember what year, 17, 18, whatever year he started. And he was working a lot with Zach. And I was still coaching Zach a lot at the time because he was still in the field. He was whatever, a year plus ahead, whatever the timing was. And I was working with Zach to teach Easton. I was kind of working through Zach at first, and then I got to know Easton. Him and I started talking a little bit. And he's a sharp guy. And I'm like, dude, I don't know why the fuck you're not closing any of these, because you know how to talk. Like, he's a smart dude, right? Hardworking guy, all these things. I'm like, bro, I can't figure it. I go, hey, do me a favor, dude. Hey, record one for me and send it to me. And I'll listen to it. I'll go through it. So next day, he calls me and he goes, hey, bro, I know why you told me to record it now. And I laughed. I'm like, why? He goes, I sound like shit when I'm talking to these clients, bro. And it was I did do it for me, but it was a much bigger light bulb moment at the time than I expected, because it gave him such insight, even though he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? So from that point forward, every agent I ever deal with, if they aren't listening to their own shit, I probably ain't helping them. You know? So I love it. And I would love to know if there's more. Like, how deep do you get? How do you, like, what's your process for really? Because some of these word tracks you're saying, they're nothing someone else couldn't say, but they're insanely intentional.
Yeah. Everything. What some agents do is, like, when I'm asking questions, they can really only answer one of two ways. Some people will get fixated on like addressing certain things too early in their presentation.
Yeah.
Some people like will speed past things or sound very disingenuous. And so the main thing is some people overcomplicate it, even though like what I'm saying sounds complicated. Once you learn it, like
Yeah.
it's very structured, like it's a funnel. Like,
Yeah.
but what some people do is they like go outside the funnel, they'll have conversations here, and then they're all over the place. They're not following the path. And so when I break down calls with people, for one, I'm listening to their tonality, so I'll fix them on that. And then I ask why they said a certain thing in a certain place, because really, if you have your process, it should all work itself out. Like you don't need to address it early on. You, I'm just making sure they're following the process, saying it with good tonality, and then asking, why they said certain things in certain spots.
Yeah.
Um, but that, I mean, it's so huge to listen to your calls, because even me, like there's some days where I am not selling good, and I'll listen back and be like, dude, I was talking so fast here. Like, what the heck? Like it's
Yeah.
it's insane. But
Yeah. I've had a few this week, dude, where again, getting on the phones for the first time in a long time, I'll go through and I'm recording all my shit because I'm sharing it with everybody. I'm recording it, it's all going on. It's just and some of it's a disaster, dude. Again, I'm really good at some pieces. I can naturally talk to people, but some pieces I'm like, ooh, I'll be doing it live. I'll mute and I'll be like, don't do that shit. That was really fucking bad. I just messed that up royally. And
yeah,
it's like, it's part of the game, dude, is I don't know. I don't know if judging yourself is the right word to use because some people nitpick over it, but to some extent, I do want to break down my own skill set and get better where I'm weak.
yeah.
That was hard to do early. I didn't like owning that it was me early on. That was tough. Yeah, I'm
It's
like,
almost always us. Like somebody is gonna probably, if they're looking for life insurance, someone's gonna sell them a policy. So it's
yeah,
like always something that we're doing, right? And like, I think if you can come at the approach of, for one, like some mantras I tell myself, right? Or like, be the authority, be curious. Like, if you come in just trying to say the words and try to get the sale versus you actually listening and being like curious. Like, for example, if someone's like, hey, what would it look like for your family to cover this if something happened to you? Okay, would that be tough for them? Like, and they're just like saying the words versus like, hey, like, what would it look like for Susie if something did
yeah,
happen to you? Like, and you actually are curious, you're using your face. Like, I look like an idiot when I sell. Like, I'm like,
yeah,
what would it look like for, like, I'm using my face and I'm actually curious to help me. Like, I'm like, and help them. So I'm like, what would it look like for them if something did happen?
yeah,
Right. Um, but yeah, I mean, one thing too that I'll add is like contextualizing questions. So some agents are like, dude, I asked them what
yeah,
it was, and they got pissed off. But like, and this may be a dumb example, I just thought of it, but it's like if I'm like, hey John, can you go into the other room real quick? You're gonna be like, "Ooh, why?" I'm like, hey John, I want to test if my speakers are working. Do you mind like going into the other room real quick to see if it works?
So good. It
Now
was
you have
good. Yes.
context.
Yeah, yeah.
But like if someone's like, hey, what are you bringing in for income? They're like, why do you need to know that?
It's true.
Well, hey, and versus like, hey, like just to make sure, like what kind of income may be missing from your family when you pass?
Yeah.
Like, what are you bringing in for income roughly? Right?
Yeah.
So contextualizing is big.
Yeah. I had a guy literally yesterday, dude. Mhm. And again, this is why I want to reiterate to agents. It's like, it's, I know my shit. Dude, I had a guy yesterday, second question. I'm like, do you have any insurance now? He's like, what's that got to do with anything? I'm like, I did a really shitty job fucking laying the table for this one. I did not set the
Yeah.
right expectations. I know the second it came out of my mouth, his tone back, I was like, I took that shit for granted and I just skipped it. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, dude. And
Yeah.
so for agents that don't know what they're doing, the importance of those little details, and again, it sounds harder to learn and more overwhelming than it is, but if you pay attention to the little details and really study your shit, you'll pick up on this stuff quick. I don't think new agents notice the client's reactions or tonality or their response very well in the most. So I try to teach people, like, with time you can run the appointment, but you can also watch it.
Hmm.
It just takes time for that skill to develop.
Yeah.
you know It's sick, dude. I love this. You've mentioned your team a couple times, several times, obviously. So I know you're building there. What's team structure look like today?
So I kind of came in, I was one of those people that wanted to learn first.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's controversy on that. It's like people want
sure.
to bring
Yeah,
people in.
pros and cons to both. Yep.
Yeah. So, but for me, that was how I did it. I've had agents come in, come out. I've gotten better at training. I've gotten better at leading.
Yeah,
So my team's not huge right now, but like
it's
I
okay.
have probably like 10 people.
Good.
And so, yeah, man, it's just, I'm starting to see the results of,
Yeah,
people that put in the time. Like people that actually come in and want to learn will do really, really well. People that put in the
yeah,
effort. And that's really what I've started to see. Because I would stress, I felt like their work
mhm,
ethic was on me. Like I had to
yeah.
pull them, I had to motivate
Yeah.
them. And that's just, it's people will have to want it and have to learn and have to put in the work.
Sure.
Is what I've
Are you
learned.
doing? Are you in an office setting at all, or are you at home and they at home, or what's your dynamic?
Yeah, so most of my guys are on Zoom.
Okay.
Me and another colleague that works with Caitlin. I don't know if you
Hmm.
know Elliot Tomlinson, but
Oh
we
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
an office here in Tennessee. So
Oh no
uh,
shit. Where at?
in Clarksville,
Clarksville. Where's
next to
Clarksville?
Nashville.
Oh, it is. Got it.
Yeah. So we
I'm
actually
in
are doing a
Atlanta.
walk-in. Huh?
I'm in Atlanta.
Are you?
Mhm. I was in Nashville 2 weeks ago. I didn't know you were out there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we're actually doing a lock-in this week,
No shit. Sick.
Thursday through Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Hell yeah. You know that Roy and those guys. You know those cats
mm-mm.
in Nashville. They're under Schmidt's group. Roy Clancy. There's a gang of them out there. If I start naming names, I'll leave someone out. But there's a whole crew. They're with Southwestern Legacy, I think is their official name. Bunch of young kids in their 20s. Started in it's if you watch some of my previous podcasts, more recent, like the last month or two, podcasts has been two or three of them. Bunch of young kids came from selling books door to door, and they have a big ass office in Nashville, always doing lock in. Cool as shit crew, dude. Really nice fucking group.
Yeah.
Worth connecting
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
in Nashville.
His
Yeah,
name's
I'll
Rory.
connect you guys. Yeah, Roy Clancy. There's a couple others. Austin Marsh is out there. Roy Clancy. There's a whole little crew, and they're killing it, dude. They got like I'm gonna mess up the numbers a little bit, but it's on the podcast. They're doing like fucking like 800 grand a month with like 30 people. I mean, it's obnoxious because it's and their models neat. It's neat, and they're in Nashville. There's not a lot of obviously people, big teams in that area, but cool crew. If you're looking
Yeah.
to connect with some
Oh,
other people in the company, yeah.
yeah. That'd be
So,
awesome.
but yeah, we'll share it out if you send me your stuff. I mean, we got a decent amount of people in the southeast. I'll share it out. Maybe some of those guys came to our. We had a lock in. I rented it to like these two Airbnbs in Nashville. They were like twin Airbnbs that shared a backyard right by that college. I don't know what college is there. Some state, Tennessee State. I don't even know what it was. It was literally across the street. Maybe 2, 3 weeks ago. And a lot of those guys from Nashville swung through too.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
We have some guys that come up there or whatever. So anyway, if I can help at all with connection, just let me know. Some
That'd
cool
be
guys.
awesome, man. I appreciate that.
Dig it, dude. But yeah, what I would also say to you too, dude, is like context, right? And a lot of people do this, but when I ask about team size, you're like, my measly little team. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, we're not there yet. But dude, what you're doing relative to the average person with the same license you got, getting 10 people paid every month in this space, you're fucking killing it relative to the average agent, dude. So don't sell yourself short, bro.
Definitely proud of where I'm at now, but definitely can be going up.
That's all right. It's this fine balance between like satisfied and hungry and happy. This whole little weird dynamic we all have to go through because we're all shooting for more, dude. We're doing obnoxious numbers, and I'm not fucking happy either. But it's how it is, man. So signs of someone trying to do big things. Nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
I love it, dude. So what's next? What do you got cooking? What's the goals? What are you trying to get to? Where are you stuck? I want to ask you that one. Where are you stuck? That sounds like a better question.
I would say just getting people in the door. Like selling is one thing, but recruiting is such a different game in terms of balance of setting those expectations. And, I've started getting better and better as I'm doing it, just like with sales.
Sure.
But I'm pretty blunt with people in terms of the good, the bad, the ugly. And so just looking now for those right people. And I don't know if I'm too picky. There's probably some people I turn away that I shouldn't, which I'm starting to learn. But I would say, just like getting people, through the door and to the opportunity. It's probably
it is, dude. It's a funny journey, man. And there's different strategies to it too. Some people are like, for instance, I'll give you a few examples. There's guys in Nashville. They won't hire someone if they don't relocate and show up at the office every day. You can't work in their group if you do not relocate to Nashville and come to their office. It's just how they choose to run it. Where you could also take the approach and be like, I'll expand. I don't need just 30, 40K producers. This is like some of the analogies you gave earlier. It's like figuring out where people are at and where they want to go, and then what they're willing to sacrifice to get there. You're never going to get the same answer. If you could put 10 people in a room and go, where are you at? Where do you want to go? What do you want to sacrifice? You're going to get 10 different answers. There's some will overlap naturally. But it's like, I learned there's a way, this is hard, but there's a way to help people that aren't necessarily killing it, but they're happy in fucking life. And get them in a position to where they don't bitch, moan, and complain. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I chose to do it along the way of like, I want to learn how to work with all different types of people because I only wanted me at the beginning. I learned that was a really dumb decision.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I couldn't deal with more of me. And then I only wanted people who did X. And that would get frustrating because everyone says they want to do X and then life gets in the way from most. And then I changed it to like, how about you just do what you say you're going to fucking do? How about we do that? Can we at least do that?
Yeah.
And then I just kind of changed things, dude, where it's like, if you say you're going to do this, but you only do this, I no longer care. But I have one rule. You can never complain to me. If you say you're going to run this many and you only run this many, I am no longer going to bitch. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to, just because you're doing it wrong. And then that opened up the door. And it's obviously longer and there's more psychology to it. But the overall arching thing for me is I learned if I could do it right and navigate it right. One of my best agents ever, dude, she spent me like 8-9 years. First 3 years, dude, there's no way she issued more than 80 grand a year ever. But bro, when she came into my office and she got her brand new Volkswagen Jetta for $24,000 fucking dollars, it was the happiest agent I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, a couple years prior, dude, I'd have wore her ass out for not selling 30K a month and how broke she was going to be and how bad it was going to, you know what I mean? And so I had
Yeah.
to find a little balance too and go like, how well can I manage different types of people and control their emotions? And just like the client that goes, I want this much insurance, but only want to pay this much. How do I deal with the agent who wants this much, but is only willing to pay this much? How do I deal with that person and get them to accept something versus not all or nothing kind of shit? So super similar, dude. So that's you deciding, all right, who do I really want to work with? And then do I have different strategies for each? No different than if I'm in mortgage, final expense, vet versus not vet. You know what I mean? There's little nuances to the strategy.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a big deal for me. And I can fast forward to today where people are like, you have a lot of agents not making a lot of money. And I'm like, well, everybody looks at money differently. Your version of not a lot of money and their version of a lot of money may not be the same. From a business standpoint, though, dude, I can look at our agency and go, if I turn those people away, we had like 1,900 writers last month. I bet 1,000 did under $5,000. But dude, it was like 5 million in volume for the month.
Yeah.
And none of them complained to me. You know what I mean? It's just with time it did. And again, I could pros and cons to both. But for me, it was learning to adapt and study. And the best book I ever read on this was Maxwell's 5 Levels of Leadership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It taught me the way people view me versus the way I view them. And I was like, holy shit, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And learning how to work with different people depending on how they viewed me. I was like, shit. That made me change a lot over the years. That little concept. So it's a similar struggle to sales. You said it. It's very relatable, and you'll start to connect the dots a lot. That hey, the way I structure my in-home and the way I sell a lot is literally exactly what I do with agents. You just got to learn the word tracks and learn how to get them out of their own head and their strategies to get people to recruit now versus later. I have a strategy. I'm not going to beat you over the head about it, but I definitely have an approach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All those different things we deal with agents. I have word tracks that I use that click and go like, oh shit, didn't look at it that way. And you'll learn those too. No different as you're studying the sales side. When you're working with agents, if it doesn't go the way you want, now go look at the way you approached it and be like, shit, what did I say? How did they react? Oh, damn. And you just make tweaks, man. 15 years later, you'll probably have a bunch of agents and realize you still fuck it up every day.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get better.
Yeah, it's just doing it, and you will learn. And I had similar thing. Like I'm looking for like people that are like me, and I've started to kind of see exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And holding people's hands too much, worrying about when they're not saying what they said they would do, and just learning to be kind of okay with just if you're not doing it, then there's nothing I can do for you. But
it's an easier conversation when you have it up front. No different than an objection to deal with is easier when you go, hey, so hold on, Justin, didn't you say Susan, and then you can go in it. I can be like, hey, Justin, dude, I know you're unhappy with your week, bro, but remember we were talking a couple weeks, that conversation you had with your wife and kids about the schedule? I don't know, dude. It doesn't look like you're sticking to it, bro. What's up? I can go that route versus be like, hey, dipshit, didn't you listen to the training and see we had to run 40 a week or whatever?
yeah.
Same concept. And that, again, it didn't make it perfect, but it helped.
Yeah.
It helped me anyway from losing my mind. I was very emotional about the building because, again, the analytical side sees numbers. I'm like, this much input equals this much output. That's my brain works that way, and I can ignore the noise in the middle. A lot of people can't.
No.
So I gotta approach it differently for different types of people who learn differently and see differently and think differently. It's like learning how to get them to see the world different. It's tough when they ain't like us.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun journey, dude. But you'll get there. You have a big desire to win, which I like.
I do.
So,
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man, I mean, if I could leave one thing with
Please.
is like treating this like a craft. Again, like we say pretty much the same things, every single day, and just treating it as like you're an athlete and actually practicing, outside of dial time and training and getting better versus just coming in, going through the motions, hoping to get a
Yeah.
sale. So like that's the one thing that I did very well is I'm still doing it to this day, even though I'm producing at a very high level, I'm still trying to get better. And especially that will help me get better, make my agents better, right? If I can
Yeah.
learn more from me. So
Do you have that shit scheduled in your life? Or do you're so in tune with I need to get better that you're just studying so frequently? It's just what you do. Or is it like I read this time, I study this time, I listen to my recordings? It's like how crazy are you about it? Or is
I'm
it just
not
your
that
life?
crazy.
Okay.
I'm not that crazy, just like morning time or nighttime, like
Yep.
listening to it when I can,
Yeah.
because um, I used to be really crazy about it. But now I'm just like, okay, this is a weird call. Let me listen back to it or
Yeah.
listen to my agent recordings. And the more you can teach this, you will get better too. So that's another thing is like when Kate had me start leading some agency trainings,
True.
I
Yeah.
really had to break down and be like, why do I say this like this?
That's a good point. Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
really helps you.
Yeah.
So if
It's
you can
true.
start teaching people,
It's true.
like that's really going to help. But yeah, man, I
I love it,
just
bro.
love this business.
I love it, dude. It's good. It's been fun to learn about all the people. Glad I got to meet you like this. At least I know we met a couple times, but if I can help you with your journey, dude, let me know. And
Dude, appreciate
I
it.
would love sometime, dude, if you're open to it, to because I told you I'm kind of building a new base shop direct. We got maybe 30 agents, nothing crazy, not associated at all with under the big groups that we have. So it's literally a bunch of newbies trying to figure this thing out. Would love to have you on a team call one day if you're open to it.
Yeah,
I do it
I
Mondays
love
at 2, Mondays at 2
it.
Eastern. I'll send you a link. Just pick whatever, whenever, any Monday that works for you. I don't care how far out it is.
Yeah,
I would love to have you talk. This is some good shit. Would love to share it some more.
absolutely.
If
Yeah,
I can do the same for your team, dude, with anything, just let me know.
I appreciate. Yeah, send me the link and I'll book it right now.
I
I'll
will.
jump
Yep.
on.
I'll send it to you in a little bit.
Cool.
Hi, my man. Appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing. I will share all your stuff on social so they can follow you out there if you'd like them to. I know my team collects it, so we'll share your shit. He's not hard to find. I see his stuff on Instagram, so if you'd like what you hear, follow him. He's got plenty of trainings and good stuff going on out there. So appreciate your time, dude. Go kill
Yeah,
it. Let me know if I can
absolutely,
help.
John.
Deal,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Hey,
Okay.
buddy. Hey guys, if you've enjoyed the podcast or any of the previous episodes, if you're on Spotify or any of the other Apple podcast platforms, would love if you'd go in and leave a review for us. If you're watching on YouTube, comment, like, subscribe, share, do all the things. We'd greatly appreciate it. Helps get the word out to everybody. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.